Your mother and father are someone I want to talk about because, again, a lot of time the assumption is when you see articulate, smart, brilliant, competent, confident black children, you assume they've had it easy. You think sometimes they're from a free family up north or they had the easy way. You didn't. Your mom's a hairstylist, a cosmetologist, and she fly to this day. She just got out the hospital. She just got an Emory, so welcome back, Mom. But your mama fly. Every time I see her, that gray hair, she swaggy, so I know when she was young, man. Woo, I know she was super fly. Your daddy was so clean. Man, you could eat off the floor he stood on. He was clean.
Yeah.
Man, he was a musician, much like myself.
My, I had the best family ever.
Absolutely.
And just an exciting family, as I would imagine your kids have experienced. And my mother was very free in that you would come home, your bags would be at the front door. You're like, oh, where are we going? Oh, we're going to England.
Yeah.
Or, because a teacher at Collier Heights, one of either my sister or brother's teacher had told her, our better education was to travel than to sit in a classroom.
Yeah.
So it was extraordinary. And my dad, I remember the end of second grade, Collier Heights used to have what they call sock hops.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother asked my sister to take me up to the sock hop. The movers were coming, and we were moving. So back then, you didn't really the kids didn't really have a lot of say in anything. And we left my dad at the house and moved all our stuff into an apartment. And I later learned the house was about to go into foreclosure.
Yeah.
So my parents separated. They eventually, my dad had a silver tongue. He sent us to Chicago, and I came back, and my parents were living together again.
Okay.
So
he had to
something
get his old
happened
lady.
while we
had
were
to get his
away.
old lady back. Okay.
But because my dad was an entertainer, when I would come home from school every day, he was home because he worked at night. Mm-hmm. And I came home one day in third grade, and he was in handcuffs, and they were taking him out. And he said, baby, it's going to be okay. I'll be back. And I remember was officers all over the house, and we had a bunch of boxes because we were packing up to move again. We were moving into another house. And they had torn up all of the boxes, including the box that my toys were in, because they were looking for drugs. And they told me and my brother and sister we had to stay on the sofa. We couldn't call anybody, couldn't move. And I remember at some point my sister and brother got up, and I stayed there for hours because I thought they would know. And that essentially was the death of our family. So this very privileged life of ballet and traveling and doing all these extraordinary things then became every Saturday and Sunday. I would go to a different prison to visit my dad. Yeah. And it was nothing but other black men and other black kids around their dad in these prisons. And I think in a way it did propel me in that I never wanted that to be my life. I never wanted to have to struggle like I saw my mother struggle. I didn't want to run out of gas. I didn't want my water to be turned off. Yeah. I didn't want to have to make a decision to do something like sell drugs because I couldn't eat that day.